This episode is sponsored by War Thunder.
I'm Kerry Stagmer, and we are the blacksmiths of Baltimore Knife and Sword. We're going to be building some of your favorite things and fantastic objects you've never seen before. This is Man-at-Arms, Reforged.
So today on Man-at-Arms, we're going to be building a somewhat historical mace based off the Svante Nilsson Sword. That sword, when we first saw it, was a creation by Peter Johnsson made as a master for Albion Swords. Albion still makes that sword and you can buy it, but we absolutely love the form of the pommel and decided that we could make a mace from that. And Peter agreed it would be a very interesting thing to see. It is a solid thing as it's a counterweight for a sword. We've decided, since we've made it larger for a mace, to pierce the windows on the sides out. I think it's really fantastic, and I'm looking forward to showing it to you here on Man-at-Arms. Often you see patterns like this chiseled while the metal is hot. It allows you to get a deep impression. We've discovered a way that works really well when you're room temperature, or like today when it's very cold, where we go in the fly press and we use that to actually push the chisel down. It has an incredible amount of power and very easy to do with your hand. This chisel has a neat pattern. We use it on all kinds of different things, both handles for objects and down sword blades and things like that. Kevin now heats this handle up in the forge. The heating has to be fairly even because when he puts this in the vise and begins to twist it, if it's hot and cold in different spots, it'll actually twist at different rates. Sometimes we do that on purpose, but for the most part you want that initial twist to be even down the entire length of the handle. We use this modified tap handle to do these twists. It allows us to put pressure on both sides and keep this fairly straight. Kevin now goes to a spring swage on the power hammer. It's going to make this round where currently the handle is square. That's because we're taking the end of this and running it up through the mace head to create a rivet. He now uses a wooden block and a rawhide mallet to straighten this handle. It doesn't make any marks on the metal. The metal is fairly soft when it's red hot, so you have to be careful. You don't want to have to try and clean up a bunch of dings that you created with a metal hammer. When we aren't making historical builds for Man-at-Arms, like this mace we're making for this episode, or the boar spear, which we made from a piece of an A10 Warthog, we're playing a game with hundreds of historical vehicles, top-tier graphics, and amazing gameplay. We're talking about War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made for PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and mobile devices. We're talking over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations. Sophisticated vehicle damage mechanics that include an impressive damage X-ray view, in-depth customization, and much more. And with incredibly detailed vehicles, realistic graphics, and authentic sound effects, you'll find yourself quickly immersed in the intense combat of War Thunder. I've been playing War Thunder for a few years now, and I'm still incredibly impressed by the massive multiplayer warfare mode. And with their mobile version that's available on iOS and Android, I can take the action with me wherever I go. War Thunder is free to play on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and mobile devices. Just use my links in the pinned comment or video description to get started. Best of all, PC and console players who are new or returning players who haven't played in over 6 months will receive a massive bonus pack that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium account. This offer is available for a limited time only, so be sure not to miss out. So join the worldwide community of over 70 million players and delve into the breathtaking experience that is War Thunder. Even though we have the basic form of this designed in Blender, we did want to alter it. We'd like it to have a nice termination where it changes from the bronze of the head to the steel of the handle. So once everything is set, we begin printing the parts on our Bamboo Labs 3D printer. We then take the 3D print of the Mace head and begin prep for casting in bronze. So this is the piece we're going to be casting. This is the gate, and these are the vents. They're sprued up and laid in such a fashion that the metal can flow down as the air goes out. I'll repeatedly dip it, 2 slurry coats, 2 fine sand coats, 3 coarse sand coats. Here's what it looks like with the first few coats on. I'll now be dipping this back into the suspended slurry. That will then get coated with coarse sand, which will stick to the surface, and after it's dried, we'll do 2 more coats. When we've got all of those coats on here, it actually bulks up quite a bit. And so we've got a piece that looks like this. And that's what we're going to be burning out and then filling with molten bronze. We support the molds in this sand. One of the main reasons that we do that is not only so that they don't tip over, but if we spill bronze, we don't want it to run all over the concrete floor. Spill enough bronze and it's under our feet, we have to really watch out. The sand will stop it dead in its tracks and is much, much safer when you're casting this way. The metal will be 2100 degrees and it's Evidor bronze, which is typically used in any kind of sculptural casting. Anytime we can, and especially if it's something very important like man-at-arms or a critical deadline, we'll do a backup pour. That really helps us if there's a problem or the casting doesn't work out. There's a bunch of scale on the outside of this handle now from the twisting and from the heating, so we want to get that nice and shiny. Butch is going to go to a wire wheel first, and then a soft Scotch-Brite that gives us a really nice satin finish on something like this. As the bronze begins to cool, the shell will actually start to break apart, but you still have an awful lot of handwork to do. So we'll just take a hammer and a chisel and break all this shell off before we go to sandblasting. Paul starts out using a Scotch-Brite unitized wheel. It's about a 15 micron finish. Not only does it give us a nice soft finish, but it does what we call cut and color. It is actually grinding away some of the surface at the same time it's smoothing over any rough spots. He's then going to switch over to a soft Scotch Brite wheel. That red wheel that you see spinning will give us a satin luster over the entire piece, much closer to our final surface. John now fits up the plates for the handguard. We've got these plates that we cut out. They've actually got a square hole in the center, so they go right up on the handle. We're just going to weld these up and then it'll get leather over the top. The top section that's going to be turned into the rivet has been forged round. That was done in those spring dies you saw Kevin working with. But it really has to fit the hole a little more exact. Butch is going to go to the grinder now and grind that so it sets up inside, make sure that that square section sockets right into the bottom of the head. Now I'm applying heat directly down onto the part I was talking about becoming a rivet. You can see it through the windows that we cut in the mace head. By getting this red hot and driving it down, it creates a rivet top. I'm just going to get this thing hot and pound it down so it holds everything in place. We thought it would be nice to show you some of the things that we make here regularly at Baltimore Knife and Sword. This will be something that we make on a regular basis and can be purchased from BaltimoreKnife.com, but don't forget that you can also go to Albion Swords and purchase the sword that Peter Johnsson designed for them. And now we can show you our newest creation, the Svante Nilsson Mace. A special thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this episode. Use the links in the pinned comment or video description to download War Thunder for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and mobile devices. New players and returning PC and console players who haven't played War Thunder for 6 months will receive a massive bonus pack to help begin your adventure. Download today. Click here to subscribe, or click here to subscribe to Baltimore Knife and Sword. Click the video to see more here on the All Me channel.